Welcome everyone to Spoiler Warning, our headlines today. Vince McMahon's new role as head of strategic alternatives and the expenses that come with it within the WWE. The year of Judgment Day, including a bit more of a piece on Dominic Mysterio. Jay White rumours for WWE and how close it is to happening. Randy Mania, that being of course Randy Orton, and an impending return. An update on Roxanne Perez. A lot on WrestleMania entrances, particularly the most expensive ones. I'll give you a hint. It's Logan Paul and Bray Wyatt. And finally, something on Adam Cole and his role going forwards with AEW. So, plenty to discuss, plenty to cover, plenty to jump into. As always, I'll also be answering any of your questions that I can, so please be sure to ask them in the chat as soon as you can as well. We have quite a few people saying hello. Mick has said hello, FDR as well. Brad Becker not only, I'm assuming, said hello because then retracted the message for some reason. Leisha Miller says, happy Friday everyone. Excited for WrestleMania weekend? I certainly am, I tell you that. Jaden says, hey Tom. Hello Jaden. Carlos says, happy WrestleMania weekend Tom. Who's main eventing night one? Good question. On the Twitch side, Spider-Boss also asks, are Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos main eventing night one? At this point in time, no they are not. Spider-Boss also says, I like the draft prediction video, which if you've not already caught it, is up on YouTube right now. It caught my attention that WWE still wanted to rebuild the women's tag team division. And Bailey says, hello Tom, busy 48 hours ahead. Indeed it is. It's going to kill me, but might as well enjoy it while we can. Brad says, hello Tom, hello everyone, welcome to WrestleMania weekend. Jane said, is there going to be a SmackDown watch-along? Yes, there is. There is every single week, after all. Jordan says, good evening, Tom and chat. Happy WrestleMania weekend. Also, goodbye sleep pattern. Yeah, I've not done what I was hoping as regards altering my sleep pattern yet. It's not promising. It's not promising. I may crash pretty hard at some point soon. CCC says, hi Tom. Hello CCC. Mark Talks Wrestling says, hey, how are you? And I want to hear your best LA Knight. Yeah, you will not be hearing that because, to be fair, I've not really paid much attention to LA Knight. He's not my guy. Christine says, I wonder if the network deals will affect the draft. That has been a point of discussion in the comments of the draft prediction video. There is still planning ongoing for the draft, but I cannot guarantee when it will be. After all, with the WWE sale impending, they may need to make further changes as we go. Aled says, hello. Hello, Aled. Venom says, so damn excited for Mania and the Raw watch-along. Hope you're well. I took 2 days off work to do this Raw watch-along, so you better be excited for it. Andy Barr says, hello everyone. Hello Andy. Callie says, evening Tom. Hello Callie. Ken says, hi Tom. Hi Ken. Sean says, Nick Khan was on First Take on ESPN, that we should expect big surprises at WrestleMania. More on that to come. Ray says, what WrestleMania night do you think looks the best? I think night one looks the best for me. The fact that it has a tag team championship match and also the women's championship match is a pretty good sign, but I go where the Intercontinental Championship goes. So night two might be the one for me. Mick says, go to sleep a bit, man. I'll try. I'll see how that goes. Justin says, curious about your specific process. Do people bring you stuff usually, or do you check in with them? Bit of both. So some people do reach out to me, but if they reach out to me, I have to vet them. I have to be very, very careful. So I don't usually use the first thing that they bring to me. I'll vet them and make sure in the build up to it. When it comes to people I've already seen that I can trust, I'll reach out to them. Richard says, hello Tom and all, happy WrestleMania weekend, and a happy WrestleMania weekend to you too as well, Richard. Peter Englefield is here, as per, says, I'm so excited for this weekend's wrestling that I need to pee a little. Evening Tom, smash the likes people. Please do, we have 55 people watching and only the 16 likes so far. Every thumbs up makes a big difference, so please remember to do so. We will be getting to those headlines very shortly. Razar says, Fightful Select have said that those within the company believed that the tag match was going to main event night one, and the talent weren't informed yet that has a decision not been made yet. Not finalised, no. The decision has not been finalised, and it will not be finalised until tomorrow. Peter Roberts says, hi Tom, will you be watching Ring of Honor Supercard tonight? Probably not, no. I'll be watching SmackDown, I'll be watching the Hall of Fame, and then I'll be trying to sleep. Traffic says, good evening Tom and chat. Is it Christmas? I mean, WrestleMania morning yet. Not quite, but we're very, very close. Sai, welcome, says, hey Tom and all, overslept this morning. This is not an encouraging start to Mania weekend. No, it is not. Rob says, are you ready? I said, are you ready? And then, for the thousands in attendance, for the millions watching around the world from home, get ready to Hollywood Mania. Noob says, hello, Mr. Colohue, how are you doing today? Doing pretty well. People are getting hyped for Mania, and you know what? You carry me along with you a little bit, because I wasn't this hyped when I started. Wasn't this hyped. Aled says, for some reason, seeing John Cena running down that long ramp is making me excited. I'll think he'll fall. Okay, awkward, bit mean. Eric says, Tom, where is the tag team match? Is that the co-main of night one? There is no co-main. There is one main event of WrestleMania, and it is the Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns match. The final match of night one is believed to be Charlotte versus Rhea. Oh, Robs is looking forward to the Mania 39 overlay. For those who haven't already spotted it, this is the spoiler warning overlay. I also used it for the draft predictions that Sai has put together for us. We have a different one for night one, a different one for night two, and then a special one for the Raw watch party as well. So you're going to get a lot of different overlays. Thank you very kindly, Sai, for your work on those. Stephen Harris says WrestleMania 39 is going to be on fire. Hopefully not, because that WrestleMania sign when it was on fire at last year's Royal Rumble was a bit awkward. Spider-Boss says, I didn't get the point of the storyline of Roxanne Perez and NXT. I don't get HBK's booking. Fair. Hector says, happy Friday, Tom. Recently, Dave Meltzer said on Observer Radio that prior to Punk's Instagram antics, that he and Tony Khan had an agreement in place. I feel like Punk saved Tony from potentially alienating most of his locker room. He did not. Joey says, hey, Tom, did you see the Mania set? I think this is the best stage since 33. Not as of yet. What I like to do is take my time with it. I'll wait until I see all of it, rather than seeing it in bits and pieces. Leon says, hi Tom, hope you're doing well. And you too, Leon, I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Peter, for becoming a channel supporter, or at least renewing your channel supporter status, because I know you like to drop those tables into the chat, so you've definitely been a member before. Thank you very much for renewing. Razar says, what do you think of the stage reveal? Once again, haven't seen it. James says, Mania Marathon Sunday is my weekend ahead. You are going to have a very good Sunday, I hope, James. A very good one. Joey says, Fightful reported Triple H is very optimistic on signing Jay White. Do you know if the contract talks are heating up? I do know whether that's happening, yes. Peter says, do you have any streaming issues with the WWE Network? None whatsoever. Works perfectly for me. Khalid says, hey, Tom, dude. Welcome, Khalid. How you doing, mate? Devon says, I'm going to both WrestleManias and Stand and Deliver. You're going to have a very busy time, Devon. Welcome to the show. Venom says, someone break out the popcorn to the max. Tom Colouhue's parties are about to start. Ghost says, hello, Tom and chat. Hope everyone is having a great start to their WrestleMania weekend. So far, so good, Ghost. Welcome to the show. The mystery lucky man, I can't remember what you changed your name from, I've got to be honest with you, says, hi, Tom. What would be the best daily routine for WrestleMania to get ready for Amelia? I have no idea what most of those words mean, mate. You got to try that one again. Spider-Boss says, why did WWE remove Carmella from the WrestleMania card? Current, that information is undisclosed, but I have had it confirmed that the report going around that she was being punished is complete garbage. Complete garbage. Joey says, is Randy Orton a Mania just a visit, or will he be involved in something? More on that shortly. Peter dropping tables in the chat, as he is wont to do. And Kelly says, Tom, Nick Khan said on Twitter, surprised to come into WrestleMania. Who do you think it is? Nick Khan did not say that on Twitter, I promise you. C2C Media said, is the C2C Media, I've got WrestleMania on the brain, said, is the Hall of Fame ceremony tonight? Yes, it is. Ken Thompson says, anyone watching WrestleMania on BT Sports box office? Probably not, they rarely do. Rizal says they made a video online of the official stage reveal. You should check it out. I'm going to choose not to. As I did say earlier, I don't want to see the stage being put together. I want to see the stage when it's there, and I want to be wowed by it. I don't mind the occasional spoiler. After all, I don't get many of them. Thank you, Khalid, for being here the entire duration. I appreciate it. Joseph, thank you, mate. What is the best routine for Mania in the daytime? Again, I really don't know what you're asking. I've never experienced Mania in the daytime. Beach says, Tom, do you see Roman Reigns beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania? No. Eddie says, anything on Nick Aldis? Not a thing. From best I can tell, there just isn't that much interest. Wiggly is here saying yo, 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 and Spider-Boss is singing himself some Randy Orton. Jaden is asking what I think of the Mania stage. Haven't seen it. Mr. Stumble says, does Vince's new job include making sure ex-con Dom doesn't scare away all the talent with his prison stories? It does not. Maybe someone should get that job. Khalid says, Tom, are you watching Hall of Fame? Yes, I will be doing so. Venom says, been meaning to ask you, Tom, ever since Gallus has returned, they've been about Joe Coffey. Do you know why and where he is? No, and I have no comment to make on it. Ken says, I'm not happy that Carmella is not wrestling at WrestleMania. Yeah, I'd imagine neither she, but we are where we are. Joey says, you think Christian could be involved with the Brood entrance? I can confirm Christian has been contacted, It's up to AEW whether or not he appears. And Thomas Phibbs says, hello, Tom. The week that Jay White turns up in WWE is here. Is it? Do you have inside news there, Thomas? Do you have inside news? Our first story is as regards a new role of Vince McMahon. We're about to jump into the news, but please remember, now is a perfect time to hit like, hit that thumbs up, because we have 22 likes but 66 people watching. A third of the people watching right now have hit like. Every thumbs up makes a massive difference. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already. We're about to go into 4 days. 4 days of watch party, including a spoiler warning, so I suggest subscribing and keeping up with that one. Vince McMahon has a new role within the WWE that he is actively receiving a salary for. His primary occupation, his primary intention, is to oversee the sale of the WWE. His role essentially is to be an ambassador for the WWE and partake of several meetings with different members of, for example, Fox, the Saudi Arabian investment fund, in order to try and get this deal over the line. He is also undertaking regular meetings with the management team of the WWE, particularly Nick Khan. Now, this role does come with a salary. It also comes with expenses. One thing you may really enjoy hearing is that Vince McMahon is no longer being trusted with WWE money. Nick Khan, the chief financial officer, is logging every bit of expense and tracking everything that Vince McMahon spends. But as a part of this salary, not just spending is monitored, but also his salary is monitored, and they are tracking where it goes. Essentially, he convinced the WWE to give him this particular role largely around the same time he suddenly had a large payout to the WWE for money that he had essentially embezzled, or at least reportedly embezzled. So he's convinced him to give him a salary on that basis, according to people within the company. He also, and I know this one's going to make people nervous, is holding regular meetings with Triple H. I don't know how formal these meetings are. They are, after all, family, but there are regular meetings taking place as regards shows like WrestleMania, Backlash, and the like. I don't know how much of it is creative and how much of it is logistical and production, but Vince McMahon has a new role within the WWE, and he is regularly attending meetings with Triple H and Nick Khan. His spending is being monitored and in some cases limited. Thought you'd enjoy that one. I really thought you would. Sai says, have to say the Mania stage looks insane. You won't be disappointed. I'm very excited. Eric says, Tom, do you think they fly Rock out for support of Ava? No, Rock would fly himself out if he wants to. Razar says, it was an official reveal from Corey Graves and Carmella hosted it. The stage was finished. It was pretty cool. I get that. Still not going to look yet. Khalid says, Tom, I believe Cody will beat Roman on Sunday. Me too. Mr. Stumble says, Tom, what cameos do you expect for Mania? Ezekiel, perhaps, to cheer on Elias? That would be great. That would be great. Elias will not be on the Mania card, though, so he wouldn't feel the need to be there. Venom says, I really want Cody to win. Wiggly says, all I can say about the WrestleMania stage is that it has seat-to-seat floors and the long walkway. Seat-to-seat floors, I feel, are kind of necessary, given the fact that they always have those massive gaps for no reason. Venom says, we're just going to get that one shocker that nobody expects. Well, you never saw it coming. Wiggly says, I bought myself a red Universal title for Goldberg to sign. May be getting defunct in future, according to reports. Ken says, will the Hall of Fame be on WWE Network? I believe it will be. Yes, I'll just switch over when that time comes. Spiderboss says, do you think Finn Balor will get a push after Mania? More on that later. Wiggly says, Tom, slightly off topic, but you, like others, are probably aware of a certain WWE Hall of Famer being charged in the news. Shouldn't this question even more his position in the Hall of Fame? It does, however, and here's one that might make news, like mainstream news, if I said it outside of here, somewhere it's actually being monitored. Even Vince McMahon is starting to waver in his support of Donald Trump. Yes, you heard me right. Even Stone Cold ever Trumper Vince McMahon, according to sources close to the man himself, he is starting to waver in his support of Donald Trump. Khalid says there is no news on Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's name will be mentioned, but it depends. Can you ask an actual question? Joey says, do you think Triple H will be in creative past SummerSlam? Yes, because that is his role now, and I believe that will continue. Tom, for example, if The Rock is there, Mania, I'm going to be emotional because it turns out Dwayne Johnson has got a new movie planned at the moment. Yeah, The Rock was never planned for a match at WrestleMania. To anyone who's new here, around September time was the first report that The Rock, was going to be turning up at WrestleMania. I said then, there's no match planned. I said every week since then, there's no match planned. And no match was planned. Mr. Stumble says, Tom, is it true that The Rock is making a cameo? I don't know, but there's no match planned. Sai says, for those asking, the live events and Tom's coverage are all listed down the left. If you're asking about, for example, watch parties, we do them every week, guys. I mean, come on. Mr. Stumble says, who would buy WWE knowing they would need to pay for that Savage ex-con Dom? Well, I mean, Saudi could use him. Thomas says, I haven't got inside news on J1, but damn it, Tom, a man can dream, damn it. Shogun says, hi, Tom. Hello, Shogun. Peter Roberts says, is WWE getting sold? AEW will be the reason for going out of business. No, neither of those things. WWE is getting sold, and it's not going out of business. Ken, yes, I did. I'm not going to comment on it, because this ain't the place for that. Michael says, hi, Tom. Hello, Michael. How are you doing? Hector says, Tom, I'm curious to know why WWE would engage in TV negotiations if the plan is to sell. Maybe this could be a way to gauge the interest of Fox and Comcast for a sale. It's actually a pretty simple reason. They are required to contractually. So as part of the Fox and USA network deals, the WWE are required to open a dialogue when it comes time for them to be renewed. Regardless of whether there's a sale or not, they still have to have the conversation. Spider-Boss says, I think the Usos versus Sami and Kevin Owens should main event night one of WrestleMania. Many others do as well. Sean says, speaking to Steve Fall of Wrestling News Co., Kyrie noted that the WWE Universe still think fondly of her and said competing in the Royal Rumble is something she wants to do and wants to win the Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship, and said that Vince told her the door is always open for a return and said she'd like to team with Asuka again and join with All Wrestle Io Sky. That was a big message, Sean. Mike says, just joining, so I'm not sure if this was mentioned. Trinity mentioned last night she's not done yet. I'm anxious to see what she does. I'm confident we're going to see quite a lot of her in the days to come once she finds a new home. She's not looking for somewhere to bounce around in the same way that Sasha Banks was. She's looking for somewhere to stay. Richard says, that's a great piece of news, Tom. Thank you, Richard. Adam says, will they go back to creative? Who can tell? Richard says, I wonder how much of WrestleMania is Triple H and how much is Vince's. If you were here last week, Richard, I detailed exactly the matches that Vince McMahon has been directly involved in. I believe there were 6 out of the 13. I detailed every single one of them. So that's on the previous spoiler warning from Monday. So by all means, last Friday. So by all means, check it out. Mystery Lucky Man says, I think we all did it. I'm not sure. You speaking to Ken? Peter says, Tom, will your thoughts be if Roman Reigns beats Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 39? Well, that was pointless. Mark says, who do you think will be winning the Battle Royal tonight? It's hard to look past Bobby Lashley. David Leary says, Tom, when WWE gets sold, what are the odds that Vince stays? It depends entirely on who buys it. James Jones says, dang it, Triple H, shut up, Vince, or I will fire you. Okay. Khalid is wearing a suit for me, which is a bit odd. Like, wear suits for yourself, not for me. I can't see you. Mr. Stumble says, Tom, any Ariel Hawani news? No. Again, I'm not sure what you're asking there. Venom says, Roxanne got added to the ladder match. Do you think she retains, Tom? More on that later. Girl says, here's a spoiler about the WrestleMania stage. It's a stage with an aisle that the wrestlers will walk down in order to get to the ring. Very series of unfortunate events there. Richard says, I wonder how much of an expectation is put on The Rock's daughter, Ava. Not that much. That Nukem guy, how you doing, mate? Says, where would you rank the odds of Vince making an on-camera appearance during WrestleMania weekend? About 4%, personally. So about 1 in 20. I do not find it likely. He's not interested in an on-camera role. To be blunt, he never was. He just felt it was best for business at the time. Razar says, are WWE aware that a lot of people are upset with the build-up for their women's matches for WrestleMania, and are they planning to fix this moving forwards? They can't really do anything now. There's only one show left before WrestleMania, so I don't know how they can fix it. They're aware that not every match has got the buzz around it, but the rewriting of most of the matches kind of worked against them. Christian says, do you know if both nights of Mania are sold out this year? I believe one of them is, one of them isn't, but they'll call them both sold out for the sake of it. James Jones says, Tom, I don't know, for Bray, it feels like him and Triple H have something up their sleeves, like Vince and HBK used to do. They do not. HCar97 says, hi, Tom. Hello, HCar97. KJ says, what's up, Tom? It's been a while. I have a million questions. I'll ask a few, though, throughout the show. I appreciate that, KJ. I appreciate the pacing. It's lovely. Tommy B says, I mean, WWE already has an ex-con working Dom. Spider-Boss says, if Dominic makes an entrance on a lowrider, it would be too funny. Shogun says, did you see fans can buy Fiend masks on the WWE WrestleMania store? Yeah, a lot was going to be happening around the Fiend at WrestleMania. Bailey says, AEW question, why does Tony Khan need to claim a major announcement so often on these shows? Because it's proven to be the only thing that gets the ratings back up again. Like, that's proven fact at this point. Michael says, does the bidding of WWE start in April? I think I read that somewhere. I can't remember the source. That was the Wrestling Observer. The bidding is likely to start around that time. The WWE, particularly Vince McMahon, wants a sale done before August. James Jones says, WWE for sale today. His is Vince. This dude loves to make money and lose a lot if it's sold. He's always been like this in my 40-something years. He will literally be handed billions of dollars if the company sells. Like, they will literally just go, here's your billions of dollars. So, reckon he'll be okay. Venom says, do you think we'll get NXT call-ups like Indy, Zoe, Stark, Pretty Deadly, Cameron Grimes and Bron Breakker? All these have been mentioned for call-ups. Venom, I do have a video on my YouTube right now with all of my predictions for the draft. That includes call-ups. Khalid says, Tom, when do you see Trish doing the heel turn? You're assuming that Trish is going to heel turn. James says, till he sees all the money he makes this weekend, a lot is going to change. It's not. He will not be making, personally, billions of dollars this weekend. That's not going to happen. It is not him making the money. It is the company. Richard says, Tom, is it true that Trinity, Naomi, is no longer with the WWE? Yes, it is. FDR drops the tables. Thank you very kindly. Sean says, maybe a Cena win is one of the surprises for WrestleMania. It isn't. Adam says, what is Vince's new role all about? That was our first piece of news. By all means, zip back to 10 minutes into the stream and you can catch up on all of that. Ken says, how long will Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens be tag team champions for? They are not currently tag team champions, so that's an assumption. Mr. Stumble says, will Ariel Helwani return to WWE as a guest announcer? Seems he has clout with WWE now that he buried Tony Khan as Snowman. He may do if they invite him. Ken says, anything on Alexa Bliss? I've already posted a video detailing quite a lot on Alexa Bliss. If you want to check that out on YouTube, it is there ready and waiting for you. James says, I wasn't talking about like today for Bray. I'm just saying it feels like they have something in store for all soon. Bray Wyatt is literally rewriting his entire plan as we speak. So if you think there is anything up their sleeve, they haven't finished writing it yet. CCC says, anyone brave enough to ask about Orton return? It's coming. Like, I've actually got something on that. Christian says, is there any news on Bray Wyatt's potential stable with Vincent and Dutch? Bray Wyatt returned in October. That was 6 months ago. If Vincent and Dutch had signed, surely we'd have seen them by now. Spider-Boss says, maybe Roman and Damage Control winning could be a surprise. Again, people winning matches are not surprises. They are booked in matches. There is a strong chance they will win them. That's not surprises. Wiggly says, a lot of new belts on sale at the Mania shop, including a new edition WCW and a beautiful Kurt Angle signature series. Some of the money from that does go to Kurt Angle, so I advise anyone who is a fan to check it out. Wiggly says, who's the front runner to buy WWE? Same as it's always been, Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund. Thomas says, Tom, I feel that it would be only right that when Jay White turns up, we should share a moment and bask in the moment. Are you suggesting that we should breathe with the switch? Adam says, do you expect Triple H to be in creative a more long-term or permanent role? He is currently the full-time head of creative, and he has been since he got the job. Nothing's changed. Shogun says, Cherry Coke all days. All day. KJ's first question. Do you think Brock re-signs this time, or is he out? I think he re-signs. I don't necessarily think his contract is even up. Eric says, how much do you think will Triple H make because of the sale? He sold off most of his stock, so less than $1 billion. FDR says, have you made any prediction videos on WrestleMania yet, Tom? Quite a few. They're a bit spread out. Most of my predictions are out there, but I haven't made a formal, these are my predictions. I may have missed out on that one. I might do that one tomorrow. It's a good shout. Mark says, I really hope Gunter and Fury win at Mania. Wiggly says, I saw a BBC article the other day about Alexa Bliss discussing a cancer scare. She did have cancer on her face around here. She had that cut out because she checked it nice and early. Spider-Ball says, I think it's a little bit predictable Cody winning at WrestleMania. And yeah, half the people in here still seem to think it's going to be Roman. Gavin says, do you think WWE need to add another match? Because night 1 has 7 matches and night 2 6 matches. For my OCD, yes. Sean says, what did you think of the Goodfellas trailer that the Bloodline were in? I absolutely loved it. It's so perfect. I've been calling them a mafia family for a long time, and it's very, very accurate. Venom says, I did see it, but I thought you would have had a bit more from NXT getting called up. I don't. Unfortunately, I don't. Leon says, Fightful reports that the LWO is set to have a presence at SmackDown / Hall of Fame. That really is an interesting one because you're calling back to Rey Mysterio without the mask. Mr. Stumble says, is Bray's creativity too convoluted for his own good? It's a good question. Khalid says, Tom, keep up the great videos, mate, and streams. Thank you, Khalid. I will try. And I will continue to try. Next up, the next piece of news is as regards Judgment Day. In many ways, it's a reiteration of what I've said already, but not everyone is in every single show, so I need to point this one out. There are pushes coming for every member of Judgment Day after WrestleMania. WrestleMania will be a launch point for a year of Judgment Day, with some big moments coming for everyone involved. Even if they don't get the clean sweep, they are still going to be pushed pretty heavily by Triple H. They will be in big key matches and we'll be seeing plenty of them. Rhea Ripley is clear favourite to come out of WrestleMania as a SmackDown Women's Champion, and there is an expectation by Triple H that fans are going to be cheering her and booing Charlotte. Triple H is planning to lean into that for one night only. They are then afterwards putting plans together for what to do for future feuds, but it's going to be big names. They're going to have Rhea Ripley taking on big name opponents en route to big matches with, for example, Ronda Rousey, a rematch from days gone by with Shayna Baszler, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, potentially Bayley. There is a lot of big matches planned for Rhea Ripley to really put her on the map, but Finn Balor is also going to be getting closer to the championship than he has been in a very long time. Big thank you to Shogun for becoming a channel supporter as well. I really do appreciate when people do become channel members or channel supporters here. Channel supporter is just the $1 per month, $12 per year, and as these memberships start to mount up, we will start to get some reliable income for me, which means I can potentially buy a house, so that would be absolutely lovely. I've already got income, but you know, it'd be lovely to get a little bit more. What can I say? There is also the channel member option, which is $5 or $60 a year. There is no difference in what you get, but as we get more members, I will start to do members only streams, members only Q&A, and more behind the scenes things so that you'll learn more about the process here as well. So please do consider it if you haven't already. And if you want to support the channel without supporting financially, that's absolutely fine as well. I really appreciate that. Be sure to hit like and be sure to keep chatting, because as the chat rate goes up, so do the views. Please do consider it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Kevin says, I hope Gunter retains because Sheamus and Drew McIntyre already won more WrestleMania matches. Michael says, in your opinion, what would you think would happen to TV rights if Saudi buys WWE? I just don't know who would want to do business with them. Fox would 100% work with the Saudi investment fund, would have no qualms about it whatsoever. Let's consider over here in the UK, Newcastle United are owned by the exact same Saudi investment fund, and the Premier League, including BT Sport, including Sky Sports, are hosting their content, so it's not really an issue for them either. Spider-Boss says, I'd love to see Bianca on SmackDown. Her best work was on SmackDown with the role models. Sai says, hope you're all planning your WrestleMania menus and takeaways. It's a thing. It is a thing. I cannot be arsed cooking. I do not have the energy to cook. It's WrestleMania. What can I say? Callie says, anyone know how to become a member on an iPhone? It should be where the subscribe button was. So if you essentially put yourself in portrait mode and scroll down slightly, there should be a join button if you'd like to check it out there. Razar says, does Vince have the power to change the outcomes and lineups of the matches at WrestleMania? Like he pulls up to the stadium tomorrow and demands certain people to win? Sorry if this is a dumb question. It's not a dumb question. It's a fair question. Technically, he does have the power to overrule Triple H. Technically, he does have that power. He also has the power to fire Triple H whenever he should so choose, but the board would try and stop that from happening. Ken says, are you watching NXT Stand and Deliver? Yes. Not live. I'll be sleeping live. Aled says, do you think Logan Paul will re-sign seeing as his contract ends tomorrow? More on that shortly. James John says, who's head of creative? Triple H. Noob says, do you think Bianca Belair will be drafted to SmackDown? Noob, I already have all of my draft predictions live on YouTube. By all means, check out that video after this one. I do recommend it. I put a lot of work into it. And I'm really proud of the fact that I was able to do it in one take. Really very happy with it. KJ says, how excited are you for Mania, Tom? More excited than I was. This spoiler warning is really helping my hype levels. You guys are really getting me going for WrestleMania, so thanks for that. James Jones says, oh yeah, also, happy WrestleMania weekend all. Mr. Stumble says, will the ex-con Dom break off from Judgment Day like The Rock did from Nation of Domination? Not as of yet. I don't see that happening at least for another 6 months. CCC says, Dominic, main eventer by next year's WrestleMania. Maybe main event of night 1. Maybe. Traffic says, Year of Judgment Day, you love to hear it. Wouldn't mind to see them in War Games, possibly Imperium in there somewhere with them. From what I can tell, with the collapse of the Bloodline, Triple H is looking for a new de facto top faction. The Hurt Business have been mentioned. Judgment Day are the ones gaining the most momentum. Spider-Boss says, Bayley on SmackDown would be great. SmackDown is her show. Hummingbird, welcome, says, Bray should have more matches. Why did WWE not allow Bray to wrestle? WWE wants Bray to wrestle. The problem is Bray Wyatt has an element of creative control and is writing a lot of his own scripts, and he's not booked himself to wrestle. Khalid says, Tom, are you ready to see Brood Edge entrance? I would love it if they're able to get Christian. Again, I know there's been contact. JJ says, I feel like Becky and Rhea would be really good. They teased with a stare down, and I'm mad we didn't get the match. There is still plenty of time for that to happen. I promise you, both women want that to happen. Wiggly says, many will do business with the Saudis, sadly, which is accurate. Shogun says, Finn with a WWE main belt would be cool. Once again, after relinquishing after a day because of injury, he deserves it. That'd be the Universal title, yes. Ken says, give the stream a thumbs up if you can. Please remember the thumbs up, yes. And subscribe if you haven't. It's we are growing at a pretty good pace right now, and I'm very, very happy with the numbers that we're getting. But every little does help, so if you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider it. We still have about 30% of our viewers who have not subscribed, and right now we're on 2,239 subscribers. One more, and we get to a nice round 2240, which I'd absolutely love. Anthony says, hi Tom. Hello, Anthony. Bailey says, what's your WrestleMania late dinner menu? Depends. I'll pick a takeaway. It'll probably be pizza, just because I need to survive and I need the fat. Sean says, I'm surprised the balls thing is still over with The Miz, which will be forgotten about. It's annoying. To be fair, Nia Jax's butthole is over. Things happen sometimes. Anthony says, Tom, I'm predicting John Cena wins the United States Championship, but lose it on Raw or SmackDown after WrestleMania to a debuting Braun Breaker. Quite a few people do agree with you here. Spider-Ball says, among the Judgment Day, I like Rhea. She's really good. Thomas Phipps says, Tom, imagine JY and Team versus AJ and the Good Brothers versus Judgment Day in War Games. Depends who the team would be. James Jones says, I'm glad you're hyped. It feels right. Haven't been this hyped for Mania in minutes. Last 2, 3 weren't bad either. It's like it's getting better each year again. Mark says, I know Disney wants Steph back. If they buy it, Fox want it, Saudi want it, but is there any other company or investors that want to buy WWE? There's a number of different ones. Also, the whole Stephanie McMahon thing has not been confirmed by Disney. It's not been confirmed by Disney, so we don't know that they want that. Eddie's saying, will the former World Heavyweight Championship return? Probably not, no. Joseph says, happy Mania weekend, and I hope everyone is having a lovely weekend. Tom, thank you for the lovely comment I got from you. No worries. You're welcome to it. Peter says, think AEW are allowing Christian to appear, but it could be the same thing as Billy Gunn, though. That is the roadblock that we're seeing, yes. Ken, there are rumours of Gangrel. James is talking to Mark. Nelson says, anything on the new Vince allegations? Wait for it. Moxie, welcome, says, Tom, what are your WrestleMania predictions? I've shared them pretty consistently throughout it. Of the big matches, I think the Intercontinental and United States Championships are staying put. The Universal, WWE and Tag Team Championships are switching, and both of the Women's Championships are switching as well. Also, I kind of have Logan Paul beating Seth. Yeah, I said it. Jay White. Many of you, I'm sure, do not know who Jay White is, and that's fair if you're not a regular viewer of New Japan. I cannot describe why I'm so hype, but I am so hype. I am so very, very hype. Jay White is continuing to talk with the WWE. They are pitching him storylines. They are pitching him matches. Triple H is already actively preparing a landing for Jay White. He is confident. AEW have given up on Jay White. At this point, the only thing that could change that is Jay White returning to AEW and saying, I've stopped negotiating with WWE. But AEW do not believe that he wants to go there. Jay White, clear favourite now to go to the WWE. And please remember, when you see this reported elsewhere, it was first reported right here on the Tom Colohue channel. I also have a slight piece on Dominic Mysterio because I did see a report saying that Dominic Mysterio was in for a big push. It's funny that you should see that, or that I believe it was WrestleVotes should say that, because that's something we've been saying here in the Tom Colohue channels for a long time. As part of the year of Judgment Day, Dominic Mysterio will be getting the big push. The defeat of Rey Mysterio, which seems likely at WrestleMania, will be the launch pad for that. Dominic Mysterio will be pushed as a member of Judgment Day. As such, there will be moments when the fans are screaming for WWE to pull the trigger. WWE are not planning to pull that particular trigger until the WWE fans are foaming at the bit to make it happen. Foaming at the mouth, chomping at the bit. That's what I've combined, and I stand by it. Dominic Mysterio has very big, very good days coming. The WWE are going to be patient here because ultimately, while he is very, very good as a character actor, surprising a lot of people, he does still need some time to develop when it comes to in-ring. The WWE do not want to rush him. Eric says, Tom, do you think Vince and Triple H will give Finn another shot with the Universal Championship? I did just say, Eric, that Finn Balor is likely to be closer to the top championships than he's been in a very long time as part of the year of the Judgment Day. So, yes. Moxie is really excited for WrestleMania. Hector says, you stated earlier that Logan Paul will have a very expensive entrance, but the important question is, will he have more pyro than Cody? No. Cody, it seems, will have the most. More on that later. More on that shortly. Mr. Stumble says, do you think this will be Ray's retirement match? Not anymore, no. Adam Kieran just shouts my name at the top of his voice. Go for it, Adam. You go for it. Venom says, do you think Cody and Roman will brawl on SmackDown? Maybe, maybe not. I don't really care much at this point. I'm having difficulty getting into the main event. KJ said if Cody was to win the world titles from Roman, who would you want to beat him? I want and think Finn Balor will beat Cody. Finn Balor's definitely up there for me. Personally, I'd be going with AJ. I'd have AJ defeating Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, and then I'd have AJ versus Jay White, personally. But I think, at this point, AJ is perfectly placed to be the guy to do so, and for me, that would be AJ's last hurrah with the championship. 23 Fresh says, why did Retribution break up? Because they sucked. And will they ever get back together again as a group? Hell no. Moxie says, I think Seth will win, then move to SmackDown, so we could win the vacant Universal Championship at Backlash. Ken Thompson says, will Sami Zayn ever be the face of WWE? No. Spider-Boss says, if Jay White does go to WWE, do you think Bray Wyatt will have to change his finishing move? I've already reported on that one. That is currently a point of negotiation. 23 Fresh says, where will FTR sign? They've made their decision. Let's find out. Kevin says, if Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte is going to be the main event of night one, this match cannot be a normal match, except that it can and except that it will. Like, there's no reason why it can't. I don't understand anything that they're objecting to there. Venom says, will Sasha come back anytime soon? No. The Mystery Lucky Man says, I would agree with you on the Intercontinental Championship. I love the quiz thing you did. Like, what was Cody's belt he won? Intercontinental Championship. We all know what John Cena is likely winning. Right, I thank you for reminding me of that one. So, I now have the ability to post quizzes on the community page on YouTube. We had about 100 votes on the first one. The current one up is about Roman Reigns' first WWE Championship win. Do you want trivia? Because it will appear in the community section on my YouTube channel, but it will also appear in your feed if you regularly interact with it. It will be put out to people who like trivia. It will be put out to people who like wrestling, and potentially can gain me subscribers if it does well enough, because about 20% of the people who see it aren't subscribed. So that's helpful. Is it something you guys are enjoying? Because if you're not enjoying it, it's not worth continuing. Venom says, will Jay White start in NXT? Hell no. KJ says, what's your biggest WWE dream match for Jay White? AJ Styles. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. I like it. Eddie says, for me, the next ones to sign with WWE are Jay White, FDR, Matt Cardona, Nick Aldis, and AOP and Tom. Me? Am I signing? James says, I hope Jay White doesn't start in NXT. Phenomenal talent. I see what you did there. Kervin says, I can see Dominic Mysterio having more success over Austin Theory. We'll see. We'll see. Wiggly, my prediction is very much you guys, and you know why. Spider-Boss says, if WWE split the world titles, I think Roman wins the Universal title back at some point of 2023. I do not. Andy Barr says, good luck this weekend, Tom. Thank you, Andy. I appreciate that. James says, Cody, good for you. Cody last year at this time. Who would have thought? Wow. David Leary says, are WWE still interested in signing Kota Ibushi? Absolutely. In fact, they are more interested than ever before. Venom says, do you think Roxy could lose and get called up? More on that next. Thomas says, Tom, imagine Jay White and... you already read that one. Moxie says, Tom, in my opinion, I don't think Cody should win because I feel like he hasn't gone through enough. And I think that Cody's whole persona is his father. You're not entirely wrong, I tell you that. Sean says, are we all excited for Grand Slam KO and maybe Grand Slam Sheamus? Joey says, I'm back. Did I miss the Jay White and Randy Orton news? You kind of missed the Jay White news. Pop it back 5 minutes. It's all there. Randy Orton news is coming up shortly. Justin Check says, yes to trivia. Thomas Phipps says, yes, definitely trivia. It's a lot more interactive. Glad you're enjoying it. FDR says, if Jay White is in fact signing with WWE, it'd be a bit of a waste if WWE didn't try to book at least a version of the Bullet Club leader Fatal 4-Way with Cody, AJ, Jay, and Finn. I agree. Brett says, that sounds amazing. Justin likes it. Mark says, I enjoy the quiz as I get them right. FDR says, yes, more trivia. I'm 2 for 2 and would want to continue the streak. I like it. FDR, do me a favour. When you get it right, comment. Just you particularly. Because I want to know how your streak's going. In fact, let's do that. Comment your streaks when I do them. I'm going to try and come up with something every morning and just get trivia every day. I think that could be fun. Joey says, do you think one more match will be added tonight too? Maybe. Moxie says, Tom, do you think you could host a WWE Kahoot 30 minutes before the pre-shows? What's a Kahoot? What's a Kahoot? Wiggly says, so Hall of Fame starts after SmackDown and is it a shorter show? Yes, it is. I've been referring to it as the Small of Fame. Small of Fame. Joey says, would Kota work in NXT or on the main roster? He has not signed with the WWE. They have not planned anything. Eddie says, do you think Brian Cage will appear on Raw after Mania or go to NXT? No. Richard says, Roman has been amazing as champion the last 950 days, but I hope Roman really long time off. Mystery Lucky Man is enjoying it. Eric Douglas says, yes, we want trivia. KJ says, I like the trivia. I got the last one correct. FDR says, cool, I will do that. Appreciate that, FDR. Mark says, I don't understand saying Cody has been through enough and a muscle gun in his pec and still wrestled. He did, but that is ultimately only one match. 23 Fresh says, is Christian going to be at WrestleMania? I have reported exclusively that people have reached out. What? Side says, for whoever asked, the Hall of Fame is on the network outside of the US, scheduled from 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m. There's only 5 inductees. They're getting half an hour each. Triple H loves the half-hour segments, doesn't he? Jesus. Jermaine says, hi, Tom. It's been a while. I know everything's going good for you. I know it's a busy weekend for you. It is, Jermaine. Lovely to see you again. Hopefully you're doing good, mate. How you doing? 23 Fresh says, Brian Cage, WWE bound. Haven't heard a damn thing. Eric says, how will Jay learn the WWE style if he doesn't go to NXT? Same way AJ Styles did. By wrestling. Michael Winston says, do you think Lashley... And then he deletes the comment for some reason. Kervin says, I hope horsewomen are no longer being at the top of the women's division and pushing new talent. Liv Morgan is getting pushed. Rhea Ripley. Bianca Belair. It is happening. It is happening. Spider-Boss wants an improvement to the booking of the women's division after Mania. Wiggly says, is it true that Winged Eagle is making a comeback? There has been no information that I've seen as regards to Winged Eagle. I mean, that's a lot of people just kind of hoping. Jermaine says, do you think Mercedes Money is leaving New Japan going back to WWE after her April 23rd show? No. Hogan says, given that Bayley was the one who pitched the idea of a stable, why do you believe that Hunter would oust her from said stable less than a year after forming it? Several reasons. Primarily, storyline. As regards Mercedes, by the way, she has a lot more dates booked, not in the WWE. To my knowledge, there is no plan current for her to return. Michael Winston says, do you think Lashley makes WrestleMania? Yeah. Hector says, I really hope Bray does give up Sister Abigail. JY Switchblade is just him and Sister Abigail is a part of Bray's past. I think he needs a new finisher anyways. Go says you also have to keep in mind that the ceremony won't start until probably a half hour or so after SmackDown ends so they could get everything set up. Very true. Spider-Boss says Cody's entrance gets more pyro than a New Year's Eve party. Venom says Mello is going to prove why he won't miss when he becomes NXT champ. Thomas says, do FTR have any no-compete clauses in their contract, or would they be able to turn up on SmackDown? They would have to wait until their contracts fully expire, which does not happen until the end of April. So they cannot turn up on SmackDown, at least yet. But I don't believe there is currently a non-compete. Tom, that's what I did. I commented on the Cody Champions Comment Championship 1. I was with the last belt. What Cody have defended in WWE Intercultural Championship was the last belt. I did see your comment and I appreciated it. Shogun says, don't you think they made Damage Control dirty with the booking like an experiment for a women's faction? I don't think it was an experiment. I just think they booked them to basically put Bianca over. And Joey says, do you know who Shinsuke could feud with when he returns? Yes, most of the people on the roster. Depends who they're booking for. Roxanne Perez was never injured, did not suffer any sort of concussion, and there were no concerns. At no point did she make a hospital or anything of that nature. Roxanne Perez was always out purely for storyline reasons, as I reported here on the Tom Colohue channel. I made it very clear Roxanne Perez was not injured and she would be returning. She has now returned in time to technically defend her championship. Personally, I see her being called up sooner rather than later, so I don't think she actually wins a championship, but I believe she can also say quite confidently that she didn't lose it in the conventional methods. Randy Orton is in LA. He will be at WrestleMania. Now, I've said this before, including in the Randy Orton return schedule video, he is not cleared to wrestle. Not cleared. If there is any action involving him, it'll be much like the moment when Edge speared Elias. He'll be very heavily protected and he'll be very, very brief. But at the moment, the plan is that Randy Orton will be at WrestleMania. There is no plan beyond that. Triple H wants to talk to him and we'll see where it goes from there. Sean says Braun Breaker will be retaining. Interesting. Moxie says, imagine Tom Colohue hitting the Rapture on Omos. I don't think I've got the strength to do that, but it would be a wonderful sight. Spider-Boss says, after seeing the draft prediction video, I think Braun Breaker and Cora Jade go to SmackDown. I believe those are my predictions as well. Joey's, I've already read that one. KJ says, do you think Austin will show up at Mania? I don't, personally. I don't think there's any real suggestion that he will. I don't think there's any real interest from him, that I think that's what's really missing. Michael says, thanks for answering. Have a great day. You're welcome, Michael. And you. Thomas says, any new news on a possible DIY return being actively discussed? Nothing is being put in place just yet. Joey says, do you know Gunter is going to get a special entrance at Mania? Not to my knowledge, no. KJ says, didn't you see Vince liked Jay White? Didn't you say Vince liked Jay White? Sent guys out to meet with him years ago or something like that. Sorry, I forgot. No need to be sorry. You're absolutely correct. The end of 2019, Vince McMahon was trying to get Jay White to come over to the WWE, or at least try to find out how long his contract lasted for. The moment is coming. Shogun says, sad to create a faction like this to push Bianca like Superman John Cena. Eric thinks Tiffany will win the title. Sean says, I can also see Roxanne coming up like Kevin Owens did as champion. I don't see that personally. Spider-Boss says, seeing how Tony Khan booked Soraya's stable, I think it wasn't so difficult to WWE book well Damage Control. Once again, it depends what you consider to be booking well. Bayley likes to put people over, and she has a soft spot for putting over Bianca Belair. Also, they are multiple-time tag team champions, so it's not like they've had nothing. That's an interesting thing to say, Wiggly, and I'll leave it there. Venom says we need more women's factions. May well be happening. Kevin says the people booking both women's champion storylines really disappoint. Yeah, so far I think they need more women in the writing room, personally. Venom wants Tegan Nox to get a push. You may be waiting a while, mate. Thomas says, do you think we could see a possible tease of Cody versus Randy? Eventually, yes. Joey says, Dave Meltzer confirmed your report that Randy isn't cleared yet to wrestle. I'm guessing, Joey, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I'm guessing I wasn't named and credited. Kevin says, do you think Street Profits need to be heels? No. They don't need it at all. KJ says, I said Roxanne was never hurt and she'd return to defend the title in ladder match at the last minute entry. Call me Tom. I said that when she got hurt. She's a great actor because people thought it was real. Yep, the big giveaway was when it happened, not what happened. Kieran says, considering SmackDown was taped, I'm surprised we haven't had leaks as a winner yet of the Andre match. It's not taped. That'll be why. It's not taped. Vegeta says, hi Tom. Hello Vegeta. And it says, no point bringing all these wrestlers back if you're not going to do Swordall with them. Disagree. There has been plenty done with quite a lot of people. Karrion Kross, for example, has been very, very involved. He just hasn't won anything. Triple H did not bring them back to be the top of the card. He brought them back to fill gaps. Hector says, pardon me for not knowing, but did Jay White and Shinsuke's paths cross in New Japan or not? Because that could be a feud I'd be interested in. I don't believe a match happened, but they were there at a similar time. KJ says, you told us a long time ago how Randy wouldn't be ready yet. Beginning of February, indeed it was. Michael says, people see the headline, Randy will be in LA and go straight to his wrestling at WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania. Yeah. Fun fact, Takahashi. Wait, Tanahashi. That's my guy. Tanahashi is at WrestleMania. Kazuchika Okada usually flies out for Mania. Don't mean he's wrestling. Bailey says, I'm worried that, like other NXT call-ups, the audiences simply won't care much about Cora Jade and don't know her story. Then it is up to WWE and Triple H to inform them. Wiggly says, are you coming up for the love of wrestling, Tom? When is it, Wiggly? Moxie says, Tom, do you think Finn the Demon comes out in his demon music or in his new theme? The demon music is a variant of his theme, so we'll see. It'll be a Judgment Day demon, so it'll be something very, very new. Venom says, I feel they don't take night 1 as serious as night 2. Good. They should feel different. Anthony says, Tom, I'm predicting Drew McIntyre turning heel on Sheamus, and then after WrestleMania on SmackDown, they debut Gallus and they put them together with Drew. I'm guessing what you're saying there is Scottish people, so they're a team. That's not how it works. Triple H does not believe in that sort of nationalisation. Venom says, didn't like the Stone Cold match, felt it was boring and dragged on. It was certainly a slower pace. Shogun says, did WWE tease something with The Fiend, since fans can buy Fiend masks? Kind of strange. The Fiend masks have already been produced. They were being prepared for a Bray Wyatt storyline that hasn't happened, so they're just trying to get rid of them. Ken says, what are they going to do with Liv after Mania? Rewrite everything for her and work that out then. Eric says, who do you think comes back first, Riddle or Randy? Randy Orton. Joey says, sadly, just goes to show again, other journalists confirming your reports when you reported months in advance. I am currently putting together considerations for a formal website where essentially I will mention my reports there, make them official, and get them out into the world. If you guys are interested in something like that and would click on a link on my Twitter, or in fact just check out the website every now and then to keep up with the news, let me know. 29th and 30th of April. Unlikely but not impossible. Sean says, are you happy the old cell is coming back and the red one is going? I didn't hate the red cell. I didn't. New says, I'm predicting to see Asuka winning the Raw Women's title and turning her heel. Joey says, who do you think wins a Battle Royal? I find it very difficult to look past Bobby Lashley. Thomas says, imagine if they did New Japan invading Raw after Mania. Would be fun. Carlos Torres says, what's so special about Jay White? Until you see him, I don't think you'll know. I'm very curious to see what his promos are going to be like in WWE, because let's face it, it's not going to be the same. Traffic says, I've seen the confusion on your face when you said Takahashi. Yeah. Cross says, Venom says, I want Cross versus Knight. Maybe it will happen, but that would mean another loss of Cross, of course. Wiggly says, should I get I don't care what belt you get, mate. It's up to you. No, Wiggly, I do nothing with the APPG. There is no reason to. Thank you, Michael. Michael says I'd check out a website for sure. Brilliant. Venom says, CCC says he would check out a website. Wonderful. Venom says, do you think LA Knight could take over as host from Miz? Maybe turn face is so much better on the mic. They want to keep him heel and he wants to be a heel. Brad Becker says, definitely. David said, yes. Joey says, is the Uncle Howdy prop still being used at the shows? Yeah, but not really. And Joey says, hopefully they don't water down Jay White if he goes to WWE. I want to see his New Japan presentation. 2 bits of news left to cover. The first one is as regards WrestleMania entrances. Now, I said on a show on Tuesday, a show that was not on this network, a show that was on Steve Chats Wrestling, SCW's network, that the most expensive WrestleMania entrance is going to be Logan Paul. Today, Logan Paul confirmed he would be having a massive and very expensive WrestleMania entrance, but he's far from the only one. Please be sure to hit like. We currently have 80 viewers and only the 52 likes. Every thumbs up makes a big difference. We have just hit 2,240 subscribers. If you have not yet done so, please subscribe. Seth Rollins will be getting a big entrance, as he does traditionally every year for WrestleMania. The man knows presentation, and he knows how to say to Triple H, hey, give me a bit more. Can we get a bit more? Becky Lynch has new gear. Bianca Belair has new gear. Most of the women, in fact, have new gear. Though Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch have been working together on Seth's particular outfit for this year's WrestleMania. There is also big entrances planned, and this won't surprise people, for Edge, Finn Balor, and Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes will indeed get a hell of a lot of pyro as the WWE welcomes him back. But what I do want to say is that there is one more person who had a huge entrance planned. And that entrance is no longer happening. The money has gone down the drain, and that is Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's entrance plans were, they may have rivaled Logan Paul for the amount of expense accrued. The WWE, from what I can tell, not very happy with the bang for the buck of Bray Wyatt so far. Not very happy at all. Thomas says, yes, I'd check out a website. Vijit says, any idea of what push AOP wants? No. Mystery Man says, I'd be interested in the idea. Good to know. Eric is asking, will Dom get the Eddie entrance? Spoilers. I don't know. I genuinely have no idea. Thomas says, please say, Dom, I need the lowrider entrance. Haven't had that one confirmed. Spider-Boss says, I think they're different, but Bianca reminds me a lot of Roman as a babyface. Not me, because they're cheering her. Bailey says, how much of Logan Paul is a natural heel and how much of it is he's just disagreeable? I think he's a natural heel. I don't think he's as disagreeable as he used to be. And Sean says, Roman's entrance will take up the whole time of night 2. Roman, by the way, is why there is an odd number of matches. Is why we only have 6 on night 2 and 7 on night 1, because Roman needs all his entrance time. The Dark Society, welcome, says, hey Tom, haven't been on the streams lately. I've been enjoying playing Resident Evil 4. How are you doing? Doing very well, Dark Society. How is Resident Evil 4? Because that's definitely something I want to pick up. I'm a big Resident Evil guy, and it's been a while since I've actually sat down and played one, so I'd love to check that one out. How is it? Spider-Boss says, if AOP does go back to WWE, does WWE bring back Paul Ellering? AOP have asked for Paul Ellering, and Paul Ellering has been involved in the negotiations, so probably yes. Kieran says, the actual lowrider Eddie uses at the Mania store, so it's possible. In fact, Dominic Mysterio sat in that exact lowrider already. Eric can't wait for Logan Paul's entrance. Noob says, will Asuka have an awesome WrestleMania entrance and gear this year? Will it fit her Kana persona? Not quite. She will have a lot of big graphics, though. Vegeta says Bianca is incredibly popular, unlike Roman was. And Thomas says, imagine the pop if Dom makes his entrance to Eddie's music. You mean the opposite of a pop? The opposite of a pop. The big boo. Our last piece of news is kind of about AEW, which explains why when I go to say AOP, I keep saying AEW. I've had a lot of questions about Adam Cole, so I've been reaching out in the effort to find out what's going on with Adam Cole. I've got some news. It's a very small piece of news, but I have a quote that I want to read out to people. So, I'm told Adam Cole is key to AEW's future and important to now. Essentially what this means is they are currently trying to prepare Adam Cole to be the next big challenger to MJF. They won't be doing so immediately, but they are positioning him and Britt Baker as the top names in AEW. They are going to be the ambassadors, and in many ways they're going to feel like the champions. They're making a lot of media appearances at the moment. There is a strong belief in AEW that Adam Cole represents everything that they want to stand for. Adam Cole, baby, AEW. Sean says, I wonder if Alexa would have had a big entrance if she was on the card. She did have a lot of new gear made. A lot of new gear. Wiggly, Adam Coke. What you doing, mate? What you doing? Dark Society says, pretty good. Pardon me. I really enjoyed it. Leon Kennedy, so awesome. Christine says, what do you think the crowd's response to Conan would be when he inducts Ray? Lukewarm? I don't think they're going to be very, very focused on the Hall of Fame, if I'm honest. Joey says it would have been awesome if Gunter got the orchestra to play him when he comes out. Maybe he will. Venom says, hopefully no long ramp, because we're waiting for Christmas by the time Roman gets to the ring. Joey says, are they heavily pushing Adam Cole and Britt Baker because of the new reality show? Yes and no. In many ways, one begets the other. So they are, the reality show is a way of pushing them. C-Max says, Vince being an employee now of WWE reminded me of what De Niro did in Casino. Genius. Kevin says, WrestleMania 39 kickoff show night 1 and night 2 needs both showcase matches because too much talking. Too much talking. Too much talking. I do agree with that. There is quite a lot of times when we just have way too much talking, way too much of the, who do you think's going to win this match? And then usually by the end of it, we actually spend more time watching the vignettes and the hype packages. It's just kind of awkward. Just very awkward for everyone involved. Oh. So, I'm trying to set up my raid option. I was going to go to Astrid Pizarro's channel, but she's not live. So I typed in Astrid, and I found about 5,000 people. So let's type in wrestling. Let's just see what we get. While I've got you, I'm not finishing yet, but what happens if I type in wrestling? What comes up? Get the tables. Just a lot of get the tables, because I've subscribed to get the tables. Pride Wrestling Federation. Tiger Claw Gaming. SoCal Pro Wrestling. Interesting. I could even rate AEW, but no one's on right now, so I will not be doing so. Spider-Boss says, if WWE is going to push heavily Dominic, I hope Dominic improves his promos a little bit. I love his promos. I think he does great work. KJ says, speaking of Britt and Cole, did you see the AEW episode of All Access? Basically, behind the scenes of AEW and life outside of wrestling, they have all the TV time. It was built around them. Yeah, and this is part of the reason for it. They are going to be sort of the ambassadors going forwards, and it fits the bill perfectly for them. Joey says, I think Karrion Kross or Santos should win the Battle Royal, give them some momentum before the new season kicks off. Karrion Kross would be a good shout. Callie, thank you kindly for becoming a channel supporter as well. That is 3 new channel supporters today. I may be able to start doing those members-only streams after all, and just give a bit of exclusive access that you will be able to, of course, see and submit questions ahead of time as well. I think that could be a lot of fun if you guys are interested in it. So, yeah, thank you very much, Callie. You'll get access to a few members-only videos that are currently behind the scenes. There is a members-only section, 3 or 4 videos at the moment. There will be more content coming by the channel supporter. That's $12 a year, and thank you very kindly for it. KJ says, the first episode was built around them, at least. Ricky Fawn says, hi Tom, happy Friday and Mania Day. Do you think Roman will be the big dog again whenever he comes back? No, he won't be the tribal chief, but will be an evolution of the character. The WWE don't just go back to previous incarnations. That's not something they do. Eric says, will we get Asuka or Kana on Sunday? Asuka. Venom says, Roman's probably going to walk really slow because he knows he's kissing those titles bye-bye. Joey says, JD from NY usually has the biggest audience of the night when he goes live. Debatable. So I appreciate that, but I actually can't go. I can't raid a channel. I have to raid a Go Live. If there was a Go Live, I could raid the Go Live before it even debuts, but there's nothing there. Thomas says, Adam Cole going to be the AEW's new Cody? Probably, yes. Makes sense. Callie says, finally I became a member, and I appreciate that, Callie. Thank you very kindly. Spider-Boss says, do you think Thunder Rosa needs to apologise with the AEW women's division in order to return? No. Tony Khan will let her back. Sorry to hear that, Callie. Sorry if it was hard work. Should be easy enough. I mean, it's supposed to be something that YouTube benefits from. Joey says, make sure to get a lot of rest. It's going to be a busy weekend. Yes. Yes, it is. So a little bit more about what's going to be happening over this weekend. Most of it is just here, but let's talk about it in general. What's going to happen is that we have, spoiler warning right now, we have our SmackDown watch party coming up in just under 2 hours. After that will be the Hall of Fame. We will just continue our SmackDown watch party. So you just continue in one live stream. Tomorrow, we will have night 1 of WrestleMania. We will go live with the pre-show, starting when the pre-show starts. So be sure to check that out. Night 2, same thing. We'll be going live with the pre-show. So be sure to check that out. And then on Monday, spoiler warning and a Raw watch party. We will continue with the daily wrestling rumors videos on the shorts. If you're a shorts viewer, that's for you. If not, it's not for you. Fair enough. And we will continue with the fake news roundup. Any fake reports that we were able to expose after WrestleMania, we will be exposing, because I know you guys really enjoy when I do that. Also, if you've not already joined the Discord, let me quickly grab a link for you, because I do want to say we are continuing to grow there. We have brought in some new rules on the Discord that I do want you to consider. We're calling it the Good Faith Agreement, bit of community guidelines. And as long as you're open to following the community guidelines, you are welcome there. We did bring someone back recently who had a bit of an issue, and I'm glad that we were able to do so, because we're not going to be a one-size-fits-all community, but I do want people to be open to the Good Faith Agreement. And finally, if you've not already done so, please consider the TikTok. If you follow on TikTok, if you're a TikTok user, you'll also get daily wrestling rumors there. They're doing very well recently, and I'd appreciate you checking that out. We are live. Thank you, Sai. I will make sure to pass on there. Sean says that's what people need to understand about Alexa Bliss. When wanting her back as a goddess, she doesn't want to go back to it, and WWE won't go back to it. True. Michael says I felt really bad for Thunder Rosa after the All Access show. Britt seemed to rip into her. Yeah, wasn't the biggest fan of that. Alyssa Stansbury says Randy Orton is back as first challenger. Randy Orton is not cleared to wrestle. Traffic says catch you all soon. Thanks as always. Joey says I feel bad for people that watch in the UK. The shows don't end till early morning. Very true. And Joey also says I sense there'll be a lot of zero news debunking. There always is. There always is. Kelly says maybe it's because I'm on an iPhone, had to open loads of different browsers. Sorry to hear that. KJ says Cole and Britt being positioned at the top is very, very telling, but time talkers with tons of charisma and can get anything over. Cole, obviously one of the best wrestlers in the world as well, which I wholeheartedly agree with. I am very excited for that as a concept. There she is. Oh. I cannot raid Astrid Pizarro. Redirect privilege is needed. Ask Astrid Pizarro to add you to their live redirect list in community settings. I swear I've done this before, but we are where we are. YouTube needs to sort this out. Venom is hyped for the Raw watch along. Kieran says, is Hall of Fame just going to be in the ring again? That's why I assumed it was taped, but forgot they did it in the ring last time instead of on the stage. So I cannot do a raid, so I'm going to wrap up. Huge thanks to everyone who has joined us today. We will be live for our SmackDown watch party in just under 2 hours, so be sure to check that out. Thank you, Callie. I appreciate that reminder. But in the meantime, I've been Tom Colohue. You've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.